David Bowie on 91.5 WGRE. Young Americans. Before that, Todd Rundgren with his song Change Myself from his new album, Second Wind. Ken Owen with you on a Friday night. It is 11:39. Sports coming up in about 5 minutes. Quick announcement, St. Paul's Church is having a free dinner for all DePauw students coming up Sunday at 6 o'clock in the Parish Center. This message brought to you by WGRE 91.5. Well, you made a mistake here. Oh, boy. You know, things have been just sailing along, and then the bugs start to kick in. It must be the hour, right? Request line is open at 658-4641, Rolling Stones. Sports coming up next on GRE. It is 11:45 and time for AP Sports.
AP Network Sports, I'm Jonathan Warner. It may be the Joe DiMaggio streak of the NBA. Calvin Murphy is still the king of free throws. His consecutive mark still stands after Ricky Pierce of the Seattle Supersonics, just 3 away from Murphy's record of 78 in a row, missed on his first attempt tonight. Was Pierce thinking about the mark?
It was in the back of my head, I felt comfortable shooting it. It just didn't go in. I'm not upset about it. Of course, I'd like to make all my shots if I can, but it's not a big concern of mine.
Pierce missed from the free throw line, and the Sonics missed in Boston Garden. Celtics winning at 117-97. Larry Bird scored 28 at halftime. The Celtics raised former guard Dennis Johnson's number 3 to the rafters, becoming the 17th person to be so honored at Boston Garden. Miami beat Charlotte 112-108, 28 points and 14 rebounds for Ronnie Cycli. It was Indiana over Dallas 124-108. Philadelphia knocked off Minnesota 104-95. Phoenix beat San Antonio 112-107. Chicago knocked off the New York Knicks 99-89, 27 for Michael Jordan. And the Bulls have won 16 of 17. At the half, Utah on top of the LA Clippers, 63-44. Also at the half, it's Detroit 47, Portland 46. Just one game in college basketball in the top 25. 13th ranked Indiana beat Boston University 88-47. In hockey, the Rangers over the Capitals 5-3. The hat trick from Mark Messier. Pittsburgh beat the New Jersey Devils 4-3, and it was Hartford blasting Buffalo by a score of 8-4. John Cullen and Zarly Zalapsky each scoring twice for the Whalers. Terry Norris retains his WBC Super Welterweight title. In Paris, he had a unanimous decision over Jorge Castro of Argentina, the number 1 contender. It's the 5th title defense for Norris, who put Sugar Ray Leonard into permanent retirement. Jonathan Warner, AP Network Sports.
The Waterboys from their new Best Of collection, All the Things She Gave Me. Before that, Van Morrison, Hungry for Your Love. 11:55, that's 5 before midnight, if you like it better that way. Gonna get cold, real cold. Cloudy, got a 30% chance of rain or snow after midnight, and we're just about there, folks. The low will be 34. Tomorrow, windy, turning much colder, mostly cloudy, a high of 37. And then temperatures are going to fall by late afternoon into the middle 20s. The outlook for Sunday, dry and cold. The high on Sunday will only be in the upper 20s. Yeah, Indian summer may be gone for good. Doobie Brothers leading us up to news. This is Depending on You on GRE. That was a big song when I was in school. Doobie Brothers, Depending on You, from their Minute by Minute LP. Ken Owen at 11:59. Class of 82 graduate. I work at Channel 8, and I get paid usually to broadcast. And it's funny, ever since I left DePauw, I've been looking forward to coming back and doing something like this. This is really a lot of fun. You get to sit and play the records you want, talk to people on the phone who call in with requests, and I don't know, there's just something really neat about college radio. The trouble with professional radio, and I was in that for a while doing news, is that anymore stations are so narrowly programmed that it's not fun. And increasingly, if you listen to the radio, people have to read cards. They're not intelligent enough anymore to say what's on their minds, so you have to say, XWZZZ or whatever your call letters are, and, this is your something, and it's 2:46, and that's it. Well, enough of that. It is almost midnight. We're going to have AP Network News and more music. We're taking requests, too, at 658-4641. This is WGRE, Greencastle, Indiana.
AP Network News, I'm Mark Hamrick. Some new orders for the Air Force. The Pentagon says U.S. cargo planes will deliver humanitarian supplies to cities in Russia, Belarus, and Armenia a week before Christmas. Cots, blankets, and clothing will come from excess Pentagon stocks. Medical supplies are being donated by private concerns. The first shipment is due to arrive in Moscow 4 days from now. 5 more republics say they will join Russian President Boris Yeltsin's new Commonwealth. Aides to Mikhail Gorbachev say it makes it all the more inevitable he will resign, perhaps next week, after meeting with Secretary of State Baker. Baker departs Washington Saturday night to gauge humanitarian needs and safeguards for the Soviet nuclear arsenal. Baker says the U.S. is trying to allow the Soviet republics choose their own fate without outside interference.
For some time, it has been clear that power and authority has derived increasingly from the republics and not from the center. But those that are determining the new political arrangements of what I referred to yesterday in my speech as the new Russia Revolution must come from within and not from outside.
Compounding those Soviet woes, ethnic strife. Up to 13 people are reported dead after a gun battle broke out between police and separatists in Soviet Moldavia. President Bush says the economic proposals contained within his State of the Union address will include $15 billion in grants for local governments. No strings attached, says the president. Speaking by video hookup to a National League of Cities conference in Las Vegas, the president acknowledged there's not much confidence in the economy. Michigan says David Duke, the former Klan leader turned presidential wannabe, is entitled to a spot on the primary ballot. That ruling from Secretary of State Richard Austin, who says his personal misgivings have nothing to do with the decision. Michigan GOP spokesman David Doyle says Duke won't get much help from him.
We're disappointed that Secretary Austin chose not to follow the lead of the Democratic Secretary of State in Massachusetts, who did not put David Duke on the ballot in that state, and told David Duke that if he wanted to be on the ballot, he should go out and get the signatures to get on the ballot.
A spokesman for the Duke camp says he's also won spots on primary ballots in Maryland and Mississippi. A company that makes a heart valve implanted in 20,000 patients around the globe now looking for those recipients. Many of the mechanical problems could prove fatal. The Baxter Healthcare Corporation's recommending replacement only in worst-case scenarios. This is AP Network News.
Jackson Brown on WGRE 91.5. This is the alumni broadcast. I am Ken Owen, class of 82. You might see me occasionally on television on Channel 8, and I was supposed to be accompanied by 4 of my comrades from the early 1980s, but for various and sundry reasons, including one coming down with a flu and having a 101.7 temperature, I'm here alone tonight. But I'm still having a lot of fun, and I'm taking your requests, 658-4641. Got a lot of fun things planned for tonight, and we want to all say, while you're studying, I know you're focused on your tests, you're focused on getting through finals, but we cannot forget it is Christmas time, and Merry Christmas to you from the Pretenders and WGRE. .5 WGRE, the sound alternative. By request, this is Ned's Atomic Dustbin. WGRE, the guy who once called himself Kenny O on the radio. Boy, how little did I know how I'd live to regret that. Actually, I had a lot of fun back in my college days, but as you heard evidence of earlier, I was a different person then, and I will have another example of my college broadcasting experience for you within the hour. That's one reason to stay up, and I'm sure you have other reasons to stay up, namely your final exams. Good luck on those. It's going to be a cold night. Cloudy, a 30% chance of rain or snow this morning with a low of 34. Later today, windy, turning much colder, mostly cloudy with a high of 37. Then temperatures will fall into the mid-20s by late afternoon. And gee, by Sunday, it's going to be like Alaska around here with a high in the upper 20s. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know, it's not going to be too much fun. Going to play for you next something really not available in most stores. There are some nice bootlegs popping up, and I would never suggest that anybody circumvent the right thing by getting a bootleg. But a friend of mine happened to give me this one. This is a Beatle outtake record, basically, and what you get are some flub versions of songs. And if you like to hear the recording process and how things come together, these are great. This is a Beatles song we all know. I saw her standing there, but John Lennon muffs the background vocal, rendering this take useless. So listen up. This is a song probably recorded, back in '63 by the Beatles. Here we have it in WGRE on a Saturday morning, alumni broadcast weekend with Ken Owen.
Okay, go on.